Hi, welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making cheddar biscuits. And I'll tell you what, if I made these for you and didn't tell you that they were super low in carbs, you would never guess it. They are so delicious. Around the holidays, like one of my favorite things to do is to cook and bake for my friends and family. I have these special cookies and desserts that I make, and I package them up nicely and I give them out as gifts. I love entertaining. Like, that's my love language, is to cook and bake for the people that I love. But normally all year long, I eat a very low carb, sugar-free, no preservative type of a diet. But when I entertain, I don't know that everyone wants to eat like me, so I want to make things that I know people will really enjoy. So I tend to be more indulgent with the things that I make. But I don't want to have to suffer, so I always have healthier options around so that I know that I can eat and not have to worry about, regretting a decision very quickly after I have eaten. So one of the things that I love to make are these cheddar biscuits because they are so good, so good, so good. So let's get started. You will find that now that so many people are like on the keto diet, like things like there's the tomato with almond flour. I got this at Costco. It's easy to find these type of things now. Anything that you can't find at your grocery store, which, these things have gotten so commonplace, but Amazon can find you wherever you are. The xanthan gum is in this recipe. If you don't have the xanthan gum for this recipe, it's not gonna make a difference. So let's get started. A cup and a half of almond flour, and then baking powder, right? Yep. So I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And then this is where it's one of those things where put whatever you want. I'm gonna put like a teaspoon of garlic powder, but let's say you hate garlic powder. Sometimes I'll chop up rosemary and put it in here. Whatever floats your boat, they're your biscuits, you put what you want in them. So I just put a little bit of garlic powder. I'm gonna put like a quarter of a teaspoon of the xanthan gum and a quarter of a teaspoon of sea salt. And let's give that a little whiskey whisk. And then we move into 2 eggs. A little whiskey whisk on the eggs, and sour cream. Now for the sour cream, you're gonna wanna use full fat. I know there's so many years where we were told everything had to be low fat, but that's not the way I eat. And I just have to keep reinventing my diet because just the older I get, the more finicky my stomach begins, and I just have to keep tweaking. So, if you're like me and you're getting older and your tummy is causing you problems, you just have to tweak it and find what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Right now, I'm doing well if I eat like this. And then I have 3 tablespoons of butter, which is another thing that we were told don't eat butter, but remember when we were kids we ate margarine? You don't find that in the stores anymore. Okay, so let's mix that in with our dry ingredients. And just a slight little mix. You don't need to over mix it. In fact, it's better not to over mix it, and just get it so that all the almond flour has all mixed in, and that's good enough. And then we'll add in the cheddar cheese, and that's 3/4 of a teaspoon of cheddar cheese. It was 1/3 of a cup of sour cream, but I'll put the ingredients down below if you want to make this recipe. Okay, and just fold it in real quick and easy. So now I just make 6 of these. You could double it up, I guess, and make more, or you can make them smaller. But I I make a pretty good size. I use my little cookie scoop, but I really fill her up. And we're done. How easy was that? Ridiculous how easy it is. Okay, so I have the oven set for 350. It's all ready for these to go in. I'm gonna stick them in for 15 to 20 minutes. We'll check on them. We just want the tops to be nice and brown. And I'll come back and I'll show you what we do after. So I'll be right back. So I just took these out of the oven. I just want to show you. You want them to look like that, just like a beautiful sort of golden brown. I am going to stick, where did I put my toothpicks? I'm gonna stick a toothpick in them and it should come out pretty clean. It might come out, that is clean. So they're done. And as soon as they come out, I have melted a couple of teaspoons of butter. And I just went into my garden and I grabbed some basil and I grabbed some parsley. And I'm just gonna chop that up and I'm gonna put it in the butter. But you know, you don't even have to do this part. But that's like totally up to you. What you put in, if you put just like this, super good, totally up to you. There's nothing that smells better than fresh chopped herbs, no matter what the herb is. Oh, that smell is so good. Okay, so let me just mix that in a little bit. So I just mixed the basil and the parsley with the butter and I just drizzle that over top. And I would highly recommend eating these hot. Another thing is that if you don't eat them all in one sitting, I could and I should not, so I will not, but they're so good that I don't think I'd have any trouble just eating all 6 of them. But I do this little annoying thing called self-control, and I'll have one. So if it's just me and my husband has no problem with self-control. He would never consider eating more than one. So if you don't eat them all at once and you have leftovers, you can either freeze them, you can just put them in the fridge and then stick them in the air fryer the next day, or just stick them in the oven for a few minutes. But they are just as good the next day, or if you freeze them, however many days later that you wish to eat them. And that, my friends, is as easy as that is. Let me cut into them so you can see. Oh, I cannot wait to eat them. So they just look fluffy and moist and so yummy. I wish you were here. So I hope you give them a try. I mean, even if you don't care about low carb, they're that good that you will enjoy them regardless. And if tomorrow's your Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. I am super grateful for you. And thank you, as always, for hanging out with me. And I'll see you next time. Bye.